Dear friends, today is Holy Thursday, a day when we priests celebrate the institution of the priesthood. It is a day when Jesus gifted himself to us in the form of his body and blood. It is also a day when we remember his greatest commandment, that to love, we need to serve. That to love, we need to be humble. That to love, we need to wash the feet, not only of each other, but especially those who are least in God's kingdom. However, my dear friends, this morning, I'd like to focus on the two characters that are, according to me, spotlighted upon in the entire scene of the washing of the feet: Saint Peter and Judas. Peter is a man that we all know is impetuous, a man handpicked by Jesus, a man who realized his own unworthiness when he tells the Lord, "Depart from me, I am a sinful man." He was a man whom Jesus entrusted the burden of continuing his mission when he says, "You are Peter, and on you I will build my church." This is the same Peter who accompanied Jesus, who spent that very precious moment on the mountain experiencing his transfiguration. Peter is a man who is graced by the closeness of Jesus. He is part of the inner circle. But what does Peter do in the moment of his deepest crisis? He stumbles. He rejects grace. He denies Jesus. He tries to show his bravado by saying, "I will never forsake you." But in that one defining moment, he refuses to acknowledge Jesus as his Lord, not once, but thrice. And on the other hand, we have Judas, a man who's entrusted, as we are told in the Gospels, with the purse. A man who walks with Jesus, but perhaps who is walking with him with a different motive, with a different purpose in mind. A man who is ambitious. A man perhaps who looks at Jesus as someone with whom he can attain his own goals. And therefore he doesn't bat an eyelid when he has to sell the master for 30 pieces of silver. He doesn't bat an eyelid. And there at the table with the Lord, he dares to question, "Is it I, Lord?" knowing fully well in his heart that he had already sold his master. But he continues to ask, "Is it I?" And then he betrays him. We can be like this. We can think that we are Christian. We can think that we are churchgoers. We can think that we know the Lord. And we can ask, "Lord, is it I?" But we know deep in our hearts that because of our fragility, we like Judas can sell him. We like Judas can fall into sin. There is a Peter and a Judas in each one of us. Because of our baptism, we can realize that on one hand, we have been graced with the presence of Christ. But in that moment when push comes to shove, we could, like Peter, deny the Lord. Or like Judas, We could use our rights as Christians to further our own cause, our knowledge of Christ to proclaim our intelligence, but our hearts are far from Him. And at every given moment, we will betray the Master. Are we Peter? Are we Judas? Holy Thursday questions us to look at ourselves, to look at our lives, and to look at Christ. Because no matter whether we are Peter or Judas, the table is meant for us. He breaks bread for us. He gives Himself for us. And the more we realize that it is Him that is in us, the more we are likely to walk in closeness with Him. And God bless you.